Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Haji. Do you read me over?
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower, Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. Say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. GITSUM. OHRAH! GITSUM. OHRAH! What's going on, everybody? Baby Friday is upon us, or Friday Night's Eve, as I also like to call it, is here. But god damn, it's almost the weekend once again. Hey, we got an amazing show for you. I hope you can see what I got going over here on my chest with my awesome accent. But before we even get into all that, let's get all the pleasantries out of the way. Hey, this show is brought to you by Primerica. Have you heard of infinite banking? Well, it's one of those terms that you hear right now. All these young people on social media, they're talking about infinite banking and how the rich get rich quicker and so on and so forth. Bottom line is that those are all products called cash value policies. Okay, and they come under the names of whole life, index, variable. They're all insurance policies mixed with some type of investing, quote unquote. So the bottom line is you should never mix investing with insurance. Those are two different products and they should be separated. Your best bet is to buy term and invest the rest. So with that being said, contact one of the folks here at Primerica. Give them a call. No commitments. They'll actually help you read. If you have one of those products that I just mentioned earlier, they'll help you read through that through your policy. Because ask yourself this question: when was the last time you read your policy, aside from the one day where that guy gave you this big stack and then you put it away in the closet? So to help you navigate through all that and get some information, no commitments whatsoever, but at least you'll be better educated. Okay. And in addition to that, this shows are brought to you by Castle Global Services. Castle Global Services, they have a bunch of an array of many different products, both for your residential and your home. So I'm sorry, residential as well as commercial. Some of the anything from internet to cable, as well as mobile phones, so on and so forth. It's all there. One of their really good products is Vivint. This product is you can make your home smart, put a security system, and actually make your home a smart home. And by doing so, what's up, Mr. Gilman in the house? Matt Max in the house. Let's give him a shout out, everybody. But the bottom line is, by you putting a smart home system where thermostat, a door camera, and some cameras that you can control all through an app, that actually raises the value of your home by at least $10,000 because it is now considered a smart home. So give the folks at Castle Global Services, both Primerica and Castle Global Services, are all right down in the show description. So reach out to somebody over there. Somebody will reach out. Again, no commitments, just information. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, fantastic too. All right. So with that being said, in addition to that, we're not being sponsored by the VA. Don't know if you've heard me talk about them before, but hey, here's an awesome message from our other sponsor.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. If you're having a tough time or thinking about suicide, you're not alone, and there's hope. VA's Veterans Crisis Line is full of responders who listen and help. Many are veterans or have veteran family members and friends, so they're prepared to address your challenges. After calling, you'll be connected to the next available crisis line responder. That person may ask, "Are you thinking of suicide?" Or "What plan can we put in place to keep you safe today?" If you choose, the responder will share your name and personal information with your local VA Suicide Prevention Coordinator, who'll connect you to local VA assistance and resources. Don't wait. Dial 988, then press 1.
Hey, so the VA's got a bunch of, many services now. Hey, look, I know some of us got our opinions whatsoever, but it is. They are an advocate, and they do a lot of good things for us. One of the cool things about that they also do is that they also have this program for a caregiver program. So I highly recommend you take a look at that. If you were denied before, if you applied for the program before 2000, February of 2019, they sent out letters. I received one myself. So that way you can go ahead and reapply and reconsider because they changed the whole program. And then after that, you, for post February, you can also apply for the program. So if you want some more info on that stuff, you can shoot me. You can shoot me a DM right there, and I can give you the information. And I'm going through it right now because, fortunately, your boy is broke. You know, in the physical sense as well. Sometimes, man, holy shit. But hey, check them out, and also keep applying for the programs. Don't if you're a veteran, you don't have any claims or out there, you're doing yourself an injustice. Okay. Uh, Also, what was that? What else was I going to say? Yes. And last but not least, the Constitution. I'm seeing all these awesome messages. So shout out to Angel Dwayne Scott for goddamn you letting the cat out of the bag, calling me fucking hoochie. Thanks, Scott. Love you, brother. And I'll tell everybody that story behind that as well, since Scott wants to open that can of worms. Anyways, but hey, this show we wouldn't be here today, and me sharing my life and being transparent and just basically talking trash. I get to talk trash, to you all in the airway. If it wasn't for the Great American Constitution, hey, this Scott, this document basically gives our rights, the right to bear arms, freedom of speech, and everything else. So you know what I'm saying? So if you like this show, you like what you're hearing, you love this the sexy accent, then like, subscribe, and follow, and tell everybody else, and basically just pass me around like a joint at a party. All right. For those of you who, hey, it's legal in California, right? And if not, that's fine too. We can agree to disagree. Then perhaps check something out from sitchradio.com with Brian Colburn, who is goddamn, for this Marine, he's the backbone and the platform of this show. So hey, much love and thanks to sitchradio.com. All right. So all right. With that being said, fuck yeah, it's the best holiday ever, people. I mean, we got rid of Halloween and all that other shit. And before Mariah Carey starts piping and warming up her goddamn throat, we must get through the Marine Corps birthday. Ayat! And by the way, last week we crossed the milestone, folks. We did 100 shows. This show 101. So, what a great freaking way to celebrate this piece by talking about best fucking armed forces ever. Hey, Angel, much love to you. Hey, I know today's my day, so I get to say that. But you all know that hey, one team, one mission. So hey, God bless the Army, Navy, our fellow Coasties, Air Force, Space Force, fucking the cavalry, whatever else is out there. But hey, today's our day. So hey, happy birthday, you Marines, you fellow crayon eaters, ass kickers, you know, great lovers, panty droppers, fucking badass, first in, last out, mother effers, man. Thank God today is the Corps' birthday. So, you know, so we got a pretty good show right now. But actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to invite Brian Colburn on the show. So we just talk a little bit. Hey, and by the way, any other jarhead who wants to pop in on the show, just put it right there on the comments. We'll shoot you the link, and then that way you can pop in. And basically, bottom line is, what the fuck? What does it mean to be a Marine, man? Brian, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, man. First off, hey, thanks for what you do. I mean, this show wouldn't be here or what it is today if it wasn't for the great, everything that you do for us on the back end, brother. So, hey, logistics is the shit. That's what I did.
I appreciate everything you and Chief have done for everybody here. So it's the least I can do.
Hey, brother. So, today being, happy early birthday, by the way, good sir.
Indeed.
What does it mean, when somebody, to you, when you say, hey, I'm a Marine, or hey, thank you, Marine, when somebody says it to you, I mean, what does that mean to you?
Dude, it's still an honor to be called a Marine. You know, I've been out for many years. I've been out longer than I was in. But still that pride runs so deep. And you know, I wanted to be a Marine since I was a kid. I actually left the Boy Scouts and joined the Young Marines, and we
Oh, no shit.
bivouacked right outside the hangar, North Hangar there in Tustin.
Oh man, yeah, we were just talking about it. As a matter of fact, hey, by the way, if those of you who haven't seen the news, the big hangar at Tustin, quote unquote, burned down. So I couldn't believe it, but yeah, you know, being a Marine to me, so my experience with being a Marine, I don't know if you recall in the mid '80s when I was born and raised in Colombia, but in the mid '80s, we came here to the United States, and the M19, one of the guerrilla forces, took over the parliament in the capital in Bogota, and the Marines were there, you know, doing their part, you know, hooking and jabbing and you know, with guns. I mean, doing their thing. That was my first experience, and then moving time forward, I was at the I had to go back because we were on a student visas. So as part of getting our resident, our green cards, we had to go to back to Colombia, and that's when I saw Marines at the right there in the capital at the embassy, all pimped out, and I was like, God damn, you know, what is that? You know what I'm saying? And I just kind of planted the seed because that's all I wanted to do. You know, after that, I just want to be, you know, join the Corps. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's funny how we have these pivotal moments in our youth that gave us that connection to the Corps. And mine was the Marine barracks in Beirut, Lebanon, when that was bombed and we lost
Yeah, I remember. I saw that in Colombia.
yeah. It's that October 23rd, it just passed, you know, and I always write a little piece on LinkedIn about it because that was a pivotal moment for me. Not only I am going to join the Corps, but they stood up the security force units after that bombing, and that was my first MOS.
Oh no shit! I did well. I just learned something about you today. I did right now.
Yep.
Well, there's this friend of mine, Ezra Bennell, Masagani Bennell, retired. He's in Texas. That dude was actually in Lebanon when that shit happened. He's one of the you know I mean, there's still you know Marines still left, and he's one of them. He was my master guns, and everybody, you know, people would talk about, hey, oh, you know, Bennell, like, yeah. He goes, hey, did you know that he was he was in Beirut when all that shit? I'm like, get the fuck out.
Wow.
And yeah, it was crazy, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, certain moments, and that could be with life in general, that mark, you know, make a mark, whether good or bad, and shapes our decision, you know, in the future. Because when I came back after, you know, we got our residence and whatever, we came back to the United, and that in that same year, Freddie Mercury died while we were waiting for our paperwork. That was in '91, I believe, and in that same year, and that when I was there, that also happened. And but no, I came back, and all I started doing is just watching movies about Marines. And then when A Few Good Men came out, fuck, you know, that's it. Cancel Christmas. You know, we're joining the Corps. You can't handle the fucking truth, you know. So, what movies in particular, you know, when you first came around that you saw that you wanted, you know, basically Marine related?
Dude, The Boys of Company C.
Yes, what a great fucking movie, dude! What a
Yes.
great movie. Yes, and that was Arlie Ermey's first movie.
First.
Yep, that was his first movie right after he got out of the Corps.
That little Puerto Rican drill instructor.
Yes, you
What
little
the
piece
fuck?
of shit.
We got Jesus fucking Christ with us.
Yes. Hey, everybody. Highly recommend. Highly recommend watching The Boys of Company C. And actually, Arlie Ermey plays the nice drill instructor. He plays, you know, the like. I guess that you could say the senior drill instructor, like the dad, so to speak.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that movie, I mean, I watched that. So that's back when we ran to the VHS store and rented it, you know, and they only had one copy and it wasn't always there. And we're like, oh, Tribes, that was another great movie back in the day.
Yeah, Tribes. I remember that as well.
But then as I got closer to age of enlistment, of course, Arlie Ermey in that masterpiece that
Yes.
hit hard.
Heartbreak. Yeah. Well, Scott says Heartbreak Ridge, great movie too. I mean, you can't. I mean, Clint Eastwood, Gunny Highway, of course. As a matter of fact, I think I saw that movie in the movie theater. So I'm dating
Dude,
myself, but
we can
Jesus.
go back to John Wayne and the Sands of Iwo Jima.
Yeah. Oh, and the DI. That's another good movie. But what about another Arlie Ermey movie that he was in? That was the Siege of Firebase Gloria, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was another good one. Kind of cheesy. Denaro, fuck,
Yep.
but it's funny that how we associated, the things that probably might have been the same when you were in. But hey, you're not a real Marine if you haven't seen Heartbreak Ridge, or you're not a real Marine if you haven't seen uh, what's the one with the Arlie Ermey and Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick's movie. Not Platoon.
Talking about Heartbreak Ridge? No.
Is it Platoon?
Oh, Platoon, definitely.
Yeah,
Platoon.
it's Platoon, right? Is that Platoon with no? Which is the one where Miso Honey? What's the name of that fucking movie? Hey, somebody throw in the channel here. Come on,
That's one with
people.
Arlie Ermey. I can't think of the title.
Yeah, he plays, the drill instructor, with Private Pilot and all that shit. Man, I can't believe I'm skipping that movie. God damn it. Anyways, but to me, that's what it meant, and obviously the uniform. I mean, between you and me, I know we're biased a little bit, but I mean, what other fucking uniform looks like that, bro?
None. We definitely have the best when it comes to the Blues. What about TV shows, man?
Okay.
I mean, I grew up watching reruns of Black Sheep Squadron.
Oh, yeah, Baba Black Sheep, of
Yep.
course. I used to watch that shit as a kid in Colombia, dubbed in Spanish.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And here's something crazy, dude, that my kid's grandfather, he flew airplanes. So I mean, the dude was a fanatic. He flew for Pan Am before they went under, and he retired from Pan Am before they went under. Gomer Pyle is another good show, yes. But this guy actually knew Pappy Boyington. He had ran into him a couple of times. Obviously, the guy was a pilot and well known, but yeah, he goes, yeah, I've met what's his name, Major Boyington. That's how Joe Royce, may he rest in peace. I've met Joe. I've met Pappy Boyington. What is he? You Marines called him Pap? Baba Black Sheep. I met that guy.
I actually had the honor of meeting him at an El Toro air show before he passed.
No shit.
Yeah,
that's super cool, dude.
But Scotch, because that's what he drank.
Yeah, no. The guy was. That's one thing I did hear, that the dude, he was a drinker. I mean, that's pretty much. And in that industry, he would tell me all kinds of other crazy shit. But to me, things like that is just still. I mean, that's Marines. I remember this corporal when I was a recruiter. I mean, in recruit and in the DEP program, and then when I came back as a boot, basically out of boot camp, the three things the Marines do best: drink, fight, and fuck. That's what he was that's all we do best. And this dude looked like he was like 60 years old and he was a corporal. But what were you gonna say?
Do you remember the movie The Great Santini?
Yeah, The Great, when he pulls the what's his name with Robert Duvall, of course.
That was a good movie in my youth as well. So
yeah, tumor. Man, yeah. Now we're going way back. I mean, we're going way back like fucking rocking chairs, bro.
Yeah, we are. What year was that movie? That was,
I think it was like 77 or 78, if I'm not mistaken. But it's it's things like you could go anywhere in the world and you bump into a Marine no matter from what time period, I mean, you got, I mean, right there, you have common ground where you can, and it can happen with the same thing, yes, with another service member. However, I'm sure if two soldiers met, there you go, full metal jacket. Goddamn,
Thank
Scott,
you.
you always
God,
come
thank you.
clutch. Yes, full metal jacket, of course. But you could bump into a fellow jarhead, and anywhere around the world. I mean, you got a brother or sister right there. I mean, you're good to go. I mean, the same will happen. I'm sure. Again, we've worn the same boots. We've gotten yelled at, whether whether it's San Diego or Paris Island. It doesn't matter. I mean, we all got yelled at the same. Sand fleas or no hills, whatever. But you have a common ground, and I'm sure it's the same thing with the other armed services in some weird, unmanly type of way. Whatever. I'm not here to judge, but I'm extremely proud. I remember, and my mom, as a matter of fact, the day the recruiter was going to come pick me up at 0 dark in the morning, I was scared shitless. So, but I remember she said, mijo is it's just in Spanish. She goes, mijo is the best thing. This is the best thing for you. You need to go. Because I wanted her to say, please stay, don't go. Nope. It hurt, like, I was like, oh, fuck. But it was like her pushing me out of the nest. And then I mean, I've never looked back. What about, was there something similar for you? Or your parents like, God, get the fuck out of here. Thank God.
My dad was actually in the hospital when he signed, gave me for permission. He was on his deathbed, and passed
Oh,
just
man.
before I left. But I remember my recruiter, Sergeant Roberts. He calls me up the night before we're supposed to report to, MEPS. And he's like, hey, we're going to be by in about an hour to pick you up. Are you ready? And this is the first time hearing about it. I'm like, pick me up for what? He's like, well, we're going to go to MEPS. You're going to stay in a hotel tonight. I'm like, no, I'm not. MEPS was only, an hour drive. I'll see you there in the morning. He got so nervous. You better be there. Don't screw me. Don't. But I'm like, I'm not spending my last night as a civilian in a hotel room with other guys that are going to boot camp. It's
Yeah,
just
we used to be, as a recruiter myself. That too. We're like, hey, we would just go round them all, the little fuckers up, and put them all in the hotel, and then either one of us would kind of get a room right there as well, just to make sure. Because yeah, I mean, shit could go weird. Like, oh wait, where's the so and so? God damn! And now you're trying to scramble because they cheesed out,
yeah.
whatever.
Oh,
So
and you better be. I'm like, Sir Roberts, I came to you. You didn't find me in the
yeah.
schoolyard. I came to you, knocked on your door, and said, where do I sign? So I'll be there.
And guys like that, we were usually like kind of nervous, like, why the fuck does he want to get out of town so quickly? It's like, because we're there to screen to disqualify. Like,
Right.
okay, what the fuck, But I too was kind of like that. I was like, hey, you got me. I'm here. I just want to be a mechanic. I want to be that. And then years later, I ended up meeting this knucklehead of Mad Max, Scott Gilman, with a pretty cool name. So let me tell you a story about when this guy is. So he puts Hoochie. I don't know if you saw what he put. He wrote Hoochie at the top. So that was his nickname to me. So like in the '90s, and we were just talking about this because I went to see Scott a couple of weeks ago, and but remember in the '90s, where towards the end of the '90s, everybody was throwing the word Hoochie Mama, Hoochie Mama. So he would just come in the morning. Says I was his MIMS clerk. I used to be the MIMS bitch, as we term of endearment would call it. So I used to enter all the data into for the maintenance cycle, and he would come in Hoochie. I remember with this coffee Hoochie Mama. He would come in. That name stuck even as a chief warrant officer. He was a chief warrant officer. Then I followed in his footsteps, and that's why I became a warrant officer. And but this dude, even to this day, everybody to this day, calls me Hoochie or Hoochie Mama. Hey, what's up, Hoochie Mama? It's like, God damn it. But I guess the cat's out of the bag.
Cat's definitely out of the bag. Thank you, Scott, for many more stabs at Pacho here. Hey, Pacho, I'm sure you've heard this quote, and this kind of really sums up the feeling of being a Marine and having served.
Okay.
And I read, the Marines I have seen around the world have the cleanest bodies, the filthiest minds, the highest morale, the lowest morals of any group of animals I have ever seen. Thank God for the United States Marine Corps. Eleanor Roosevelt.
OHRAH. I mean, I couldn't have put it better myself, and I would not change anything and everything. I'll take the good and the bad and even the ugly, and I would do it all over again because although I'm very patriotic, I love my native country of uh, of Colombia, and and I'll never forget my heritage and where I came from. However, this country has given me a lot of things that and freedoms as well that I couldn't have over there because of the instability sometimes that the country has seen over the years. And bottom line is that to me, being a Marine, it was the my way of saying thank you to this nation of ours, saying, "Hey, thank you for all these opportunities and all the things that you've allowed me to do and be a part of by being here." So, I mean, to me, there's no better. And again, I'm being biased, and it is what it is. And I'm not to offend any other of the listeners or the other armed forces, but I am very proud of the fact that I made that decision, back in at the beginning of the '90s. So why don't we do this?
My father was a Marine, and he encouraged me to join the Air Force, and he was more worried about quality of life and after the service. But come on now. I grew up looking at his boot camp book and cruise book,
Yeah. No, I wouldn't take it. And just like I turn around, and by the way, man, Scott's life and I are so intertwined together. He was my retiring officer, but one thing that I did say as I turned around when I addressed the troops, after I thanked the CO and everybody else in my ceremony, I said, it was always, and it's always been about you. It was never about me, and I hope that I was a servant, a good servant to you and an advocate uh, for our community. Something along those lines. But because as leaders and regarding, it doesn't matter in our beloved Corps, you could be a PFC, and that kid is the commander. He could be the convoy commander running missions because that's the way our Marine Corps is designed. So I mean, all the great things that were instilled in me, and I hope that I was able to, that I've embodied that as a Marine, even now today, as I, conduct myself as a civilian. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, completely. I next time you're here, you got to come into the studio, but in the lounge, we've got the honor, courage, commitment sign from some barrack, it's
Yeah.
still just so ingrained.
Yeah. No, I mean I eat, live, and drink it, and sometimes at work it's like, man, you're so, you know, freaking, gung ho. I'm like, fuck yeah, I am. Eh, I've never forgotten my oath, and I would do it all over again in a heartbeat with a replaced robotic knee, but whatever.
No,
Why don't we do this? Well, why don't we, you know, hey, I think it's as part of, and it would be right to do, is to read off John Ayler Journ's message for the masses. What do you think?
I think it is that time. I will give you center stage.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thanks for having me
Appreciate you,
on,
and
brother.
thanks for your service.
Semper Fi.
OHRAH! Well, everybody, yeah, it's that time. So I think it would be proper to celebrate, just to do a little small ceremony. So I will now read John Ayler Journ's Marine Corps birthday message. So attention to orders. Date 1 November 1921. On November 10th, 1775, the Corps of Marines was created by a resolution of Continental Congress. Since that date, many thousand men have borne the name Marine. In memory of them, it is fitting that we, who are Marines, should commemorate the birthday of our Corps by calling to mind the glories of its long and illustrious history. The record of our Corps is one which will bear comparison with that of the most famous military organizations in the world's history. During 90 of the 146 years of its existence, the Marine Corps has been in action against the nation's foes. From the Battle of Trenton to the Argonne, Marines have won foremost honors in war and in the long eras of tranquility at home. Generation after generation of Marines have grown gray in war in both hemispheres and in every corner of the seven seas, that our country and its citizens might enjoy peace and security. In every battle and skirmish since the birth of our Corps, Marines have acquitted themselves with the greatest distinction, winning new honors on each occasion until the term Marine has come to signify all that is highest in military efficiency and soldierly virtue. This high name of distinction and soldierly repute, we who are Marines today have received from those who preceded us in the Corps. With it, we have also received from them the eternal spirit which has animated our Corps from generation to generation and has been the distinguishing mark of the Marines in every age. So long as that spirit continues to flourish, Marines will be found equal to every emergency in the future as they have been in the past. And the men of our nation will regard us as worthy successors to the long line of illustrious men who have served us as soldiers of the sea since the founding of our Corps. John A. Lejeune, Major General, Commandant of the Marine Corps. OHRAH! God damn. Hey, I just want to say that, you know, nothing is perfect in the world, and neither is our military or even this nation as well. However, I think that from having been all over the world myself, including some of my fellow service members on here, I think we can all agree that there's no better place like the United States of America. There's no other great document that will give you the rights, excuse me, to express ourselves, whether whether we agree or whether we disagree with whatever that person is expressing, or how they're gathering and whatever it is that they're chanting and saying. That's fine, because that is called freedom of speech. And also, there's no other country that has such great armed forces that we can all come together to achieve whatever the mission is, whether it is here on our nation's lands or somewhere, somewhere else out there in our foes' foreign land. You know, we we who are Marines as well as soldiers, what do you call the Navy? Seamen, sailors of the seas. There you go, and sailors of the air as well, and even our beloved, our new younger sister armed forces, the Space Force. We all here, we all come up as a team, and we just make it happen. But hey, to you, I think this is a great way of ending this badass freaking show. Is that, hey, Marines, happy fucking birthday. Tomorrow is your day. Every day, yeah, you know what? Screw it. Every day is our day, because it's always about us. Because everywhere we go, people fucking fear us, and ladies love us. Goddamn. Hoorah, simplify, and get some. Hey, don't commit suicide. Don't be a bitch. All right, do your thing, man. Stay motivated, stay hard. Reach out to the show, and we'll just get things out of that. Hoorah, get some. Fuck yeah. OHRAH! Fucking get some. See you next week, motherfuckers. Maybe I'll have a leg. Maybe I won't. I don't fucking know. So I'll see. I don't know what's going on here. I'll talk to you all later. Much peace out. See you next week. Hopefully. Shit. Oh my God.